When studying the moons in the sky, the names that are often mentioned are the giant Titan or giant No. 1 Ganymede. Besides, we have other outstanding moons such as Enigma Universe, Europa with interesting natural conditions. However, when it comes to naming the strangest moon, we cannot but mention the dethroned K located on the edge of the Triton solar system. So it happened that made Triton become the dethroned king. And what is special that we need to pay attention to this place. In 1846, a mathematician in France calculated the orbit of an invisible planet located on the edge of the solar system, leading other astronomers to explore what was really there. But when Johann Galilei used his calculations and looked up at the sky, they discovered Neptune, the 8th planet of the solar system. Since Neptune was found, a new wave of research and study was formed. It will be long before humanity knew new information about this distant planet when just 17 days after it was discovered, a new discovery was announced. The prominent 19th century astronomer John Herschel, after learning about the existence of Neptune, wrote to another astronomer William Lassell and suggested to him to look for moons that might be orbiting Neptune. On October 10, 1846, astronomer William Lassell told the world about his new discovery through his telescope. He found a bright white moon orbiting next to Neptune. This was an only, and perhaps the only discovery at that time of a moon of this distant planet. At that time, naming this new celestial body was unnecessary. To refer to Neptune's moon, we just called it Neptune's moon or Neptune's satellite. This simple name existed for the next 100 years when no one cared much about Neptune's distant realm, partly because it was too far away and contemporary technology found it hard to observe what was going on there, and partly because the world was still busy with wars so new breakthroughs had not yet a place to really develop. When World War II ended, and humanity advanced breakthroughs, we had a new discovery about Neptune, that it not only contains more than a dozen moons, but each moon also has its own interesting characteristics to explore. However, among all, Triton is still the most fascinating moon. It is not only the only moon of Neptune to have a completely reversed orbit, compared to the natural orbit of the mother planet, but also the largest moon. The second largest moon of this planet, called Proteus, with a diameter of 4 Triton, is a steno of 26. The huge difference between the two moons immediately made astronomers frown and ask why it could be so huge. Not yet when calculating Triton's orbit. They realized it not only spins in the opposite direction to the mother planet, but also has an orbital plane tilted up to 67 degrees and with an orbital radius up to 3,548 km. The moon standing right in front of Triton is Proteus, and it is 117,647 km from Neptune, about 1/3 of Triton's distance from it. With this difference, does Triton have anything in common with Neptune's other moons? In fact, yes, but it is the strangeness in their orbits. Neptune has up to 14 different moons, and they are mostly small rocky moons orbiting it. However, when looking closely, we can see that before Triton there will be small moons with orbits lying on the same plane, including Nishid, Thalassa, Despina, Galateo, Larissa, Chippewa, and Proteus. The moons from Triton onwards all have very irregular orbits, not lying on the same plane, and have incomprehensibly distant orbits. These moons include Nereid, Halidemia, Condesa, Sao, Niso, and Samath. The existence of Triton around Neptune seems like a challenge to astronomers. It's really very logical and too destructive to be easily dismissed. So the Voyager 2 flight is considered a breakthrough dedicated to Triton for us to better understand this moon, why it got stranded in this distant region. The encounter with Triton was the final plot twist of Voyager 2 before it headed for infinity. Triton was specifically focused on and observed. Before Voyager 2 was launched into space, astronomers speculated that Triton would contain a fuel atmosphere with liquid nitrogen and methane, and surface pressure up to 30 times that on Earth. However, these predictions were not accurate at all because Triton is much stranger than that. First, the images sent back from Voyager 2 showed Triton's surface was smoother than imagined. In such a distant location, collisions with asteroids in the Kuiper Belt are obvious. However, Triton's surface contains very few impact craters. This shows that it is very regular geological activity, like how the Earth is constantly colliding and reconstructed tectonic plates to cover up the small craters on its surface. But this is not the biggest anomaly of Triton. Triton's surface is quite formidable, as it is composed of many different types of ice, such as nitrogen. Moreover, it has reddish streaks of fouling, a material produced by methane exposure. These features are frighteningly similar to the dull and so-called ninth planet of the solar system, Pluto. Normally, moons born together with their mother planet would have the same orbital plane, the same rotation, and sometimes the same type of material. But with Triton and Neptune, these two celestial bodies seem to have nothing to do with each other when it comes to similarity. Triton looks more like Pluto than Neptune. This means what? Triton should be Pluto's moon. Although it sounds plausible, it is extremely illogical because Triton is actually almost 40% larger than Pluto. So if we let Triton fly next to Pluto, we won't know which one is whose who. Here, astronomers have come up with a hypothesis that they find credible to the point of being the public engine. The hypothesis about Triton's boat that it is known to originally Neptune's moon, but it captured dwarf planet. According to this theory, Triton was actually a dwarf planet like Pluto originating from the Kuiper Belt. However, by the huge gravitational influence of Neptune, it was drawn and lost its original orbit. This explains why Triton has an orbital tilt of up to 67 degrees. The sudden appearance of Triton can also explain why the moons at the edge like so. Nestle with such skewed orbits, and Triton's gigantic size affected the gravity from those small moons, causing them to be flung out of their original orbits and fall yesterday. However, this is a difficult but interesting question. But interestingly, the answer lies right on the edge of the solar system with Pluto. Pluto has a companion called Charon, a moon almost the same size as Pluto itself. It is not uncommon in the vast universe for a celestial body to have a companion. In fact, almost every star is a binary star, and celestial bodies must rely on clinging to each other. So it's not hard to believe Triton once had a companion like Pluto with Charon. How is Triton having had a moon related to its retrograde orbit? If we imagine Triton once had a moon before being drawn in by Neptune, we will see the first ants on Triton and its prehistoric moon were orbiting each other in space, and then this pair was attracted by Neptune just as Triton was spinning the opposite direction to Neptune. This would cause Triton to be removed from its original orbit, leaving its old moon behind and letting the moon be flung into the vast universe. The sudden appearance of Triton caused the moons in the area to be disrupted. The moons far from Neptune were flung out of their original orbits by Triton's enormous mass, as Neptune flung Triton into its home. This resulted in the unstable orbits of moons like Sao and Neso, while the moons closer to Triton were flung straight into Neptune, shattering them and creating the ethereal debris ring that this planet is still embracing today. So Triton may not really be a moon. In essence, it is a dwarf planet exactly like Pluto, or with a size larger than Pluto. It should have been a planet with its own orbit ruling its territory, in other words, the king of the Kuiper Belt. But then Neptune pulled it out and took away its crown and gave the Gango little brother Pluto this strange right. That's how the universe works, from celestial bodies to tiny planets and journeys of being dethroned. The vast universe contains endless variations and different events that make it hard for us to say, yet one thing will recur many times in different worlds. So, does this king have anything really special apart from its bizarre birth? To answer that question, we'll have to meet again in other parts of the story beyond the universe. And that was the story of Triton, the dethroned king of the solar system. What do you think about this story? Does it excite you about everything happening beyond the universe? Let us know in the discussion section below. And if you like this video, don't forget to like, subscribe to us and click the notification bell not to miss any future videos. Thank you for listening and see you next time. I tried to continue the narrative style and key ideas from the original Vietnamese text when summarizing the conclusion and ending the story cohesively. Please let me know if you would like me to elaborate on or expand the translation further.